Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome to my Thursday show where I help you build a career you love. Great to have you. Live office hours, normal slot, normal time. The sun is shining. I'm happy. You're here. Get in. Say hi. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you need. If you are in one of my programs, make sure you use your hashtag. I like to know if you're a boot camper or an I-teamer or a leader or just a general fan of the Mile Walk Academy. That works too. That works always. Great to have you. If you got some questions, I got a lot of time for you today. Put some question marks in front of your question. I'm going to take as many of these suckers as I possibly can, and let's just have some fun with it. All right. It says I'm live, sort of. All good. Thanks, Kara. Okay, we are here. We got people coming up at 8:30. That's 2.5 hours ago, putting their questions in. I love it. Let me say hello. I got some announcements. I'll hold on to those for a little way into the program. I've got a bunch of them. I'll try not to take up too much time, but I think there's a lot of great stuff I think you're going to want to know about. So, Pete Rogers 50. How you doing, Pete Rogers? Wait, let me just check all my things here. My not everything is all green and lit up, but I'm assuming we're all good. Ooh, oat milk latte today. I was feeling, I had a few extra minutes, and so I made myself one. Very, very happy because now that I am 53 years old and 2 days, I'm feeling pretty good. All right, P. Rogers 50, let's get rolling. Hi, Andy. Had a panel interview with 3 directors, asked how I handled a client going above my head to my manager. I cited an example, but asked the same question a second time. What should I have done? P. Rogers, I'm not sure I understand the question. If I get you right, you're in an interview, they asked you how you handle a client going above your head to a manager, as if that even ever occurred. So I don't know if it occurred, but obviously you cited an example, but they asked the same question a second time. I do not know why they asked the question the second time, and I also do not know what the example was that you gave. So I wish I could be more help there. I'm really not sure. If you head to the bottom of the chat and you want to give me more information and Kara will slack it to me, I will do a better job trying to get you some help here. Christina Freeman, hey, Andy, I applied for a job online, received a response the next day, and it went to my spam folder, so I didn't see it until 3 weeks later. Should I still respond, or did I ruin my chances? Okay, so the first one, we don't want to beat this up, Christina. Everybody, whenever you are applying for a job, you better make sure that there are a few things that are in order. It's not just checking the emails and making sure that you are constantly checking your junk folder, spam folder, marketing folder, promotion folder, whatever service you're using. I know Google is terrible at routing things into different folders, but also make sure that your voicemail system, that it's not full. We would call people and their voicemails would be full and we wouldn't be able to leave them a voicemail. Nothing irks a hirer more than that. So I can't say if you ruined your chances. I would not mention that it went to spam and that you did not see it, because then actually that to me is a knock that you are not paying attention. So I wouldn't say that. I would just reply to it, and at this point, I probably would reply to it and not say anything. I would just reply and say, yes, I am very interested, would love to engage. That's actually what I would do at this point. Normally, I'm about honesty and I like to, share those things. But in this case, I would not. Think about it. You put it in, I'm assuming, an applicant tracking system. If you got a response the next day, I'm sure they wanted to talk to you then. But 3 weeks later doesn't mean that the position's closed. It could still be available. You don't need to apologize. For all they know, you were on a 3-week vacation. So I would just go at it. I would just pretend nothing happened, and I would just try to see what they say. If they say, well, hey, you didn't reply for 3 weeks. Say, I've been very busy with work and other commitments. That's all. And now I'm fully engaged. All right, Evelyn O., great to see you, my boot camper from New York. Unrepentant Drew, how you doing? Hey, man, hope you're doing well, Andy. I'm hanging in there and trying my best. Hang in there, that's right. Always pulling for you. Said a little prayer for you on my run today. You guys don't know I do that stuff. Yeah, well, I ran for a whole bunch of miles, and when you run for an hour, you can do a lot of stuff in your head. And so I did a lot of, all my little mantras and all that, prayed for all my people and all my boot campers and my Malawak Academy people. All right. Evelyn O's got a question. You mentioned to find commonalities with interviewers by searching social media and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, they will see that you viewed their profile. Should we be concerned about that? Evelyn O, let's just make this simple. Go to your LinkedIn settings, turn off that they can see who viewed their profile. Don't show them that you viewed their profile. So, and Evelyn, because you are a beloved boot camper, if you cannot find that setting, please put a question in the Malawak Academy system, and Kara will show you exactly how to change it. And that way, no one will ever know you spied them. All right, Natalie Taylor, hey, 1 of 2. Unfortunately, I'm 3 out of 4 for job rejections. Such a bummer. I just got one this AM for an interview that I thought went well. That rejection was canned, and I did not mention why I was declined. With consideration of your rejection letter outline, I'd like to know more about what happened. I don't know what happened. Is it wrong for me to ask for more info? It's not. So couple of things. And let's just make sure everybody knows what she's actually asking me here. All right, so Natalie, number 1, hang in there. It only takes one, just one. I promise you. A job you love that you will love, that loves you back, is out there for you. All of the things that you are going through, Natalie, I'm speaking directly to you, and everybody else can hang on to this one too. Don't think of your job search as a series of things, like a series of applications and interviews with companies and rejections and so on and so forth. Think of it as one big happy journey, and every single thing that occurs along the way is like just adding a piece to the puzzle, or a pawn being moved off the chessboard before you go on to checkmate, or whatever analogy you want to use. Everything is contributing to how you are going through this search and where you'll ultimately end up. So, I know there are rejections. I do not want you to worry about those. Learn from them, and my guess is something will have occurred in one of those rejections that will be like your linchpin into the job you ultimately get, because you will have learned your lesson previously at a previous swing at the plate. Now, when you get to, you got a rejection letter, and it was at, you had an interview and got rejected. Now, what Natalie's asking me is my rejection letter. I have a video out there about how to get the job after being rejected. You should all check that out. It is a very slick move that all of you should have in your arsenal if ever you go through an interview process and they do not hire you. Okay, so check that video out. I'm not talking about, you submitted your resume in an applicant tracking system and you got a standard bong letter. I'm talking about like you went in through an interviewing process, you didn't get the opportunity. You want to send them this rejection letter back to them. And there's some things, I'm not going to go into all what it is, but you're basically positioning yourself very positively. You're going out with some class, and you're teeing up the fact that you're going to follow up with them in about 30 days. That's just what for yourself internally, but you're planting the seed. They don't know you're going to be contacting them soon, but there's a whole process to this, and a lot of people, and I know this because I get a lot of emails about this one in particular, because it's not something people would think to do, but a lot of people are now doing it, and they're having great results, and they're getting hired for the job they got rejected or some other job in the company. So for Natalie, what I would do in this case is I would send the rejection letter, and in that process, in the rejection letter, in addition to the script I give you in the rejection letter, what I want you to do there is also say, I would welcome any feedback that you have. Now, if you assumed that the interview went well and they didn't say anything awful like you are just a terrible human being, or you just really don't fit culturally, we don't like your personality, or anything that really rubbed them the wrong way, it's possible that somebody was just stronger for the position, or maybe you didn't have enough experience in a particular area they were looking for. It could have been anything. But I would not beg for a lot of feedback. I would just say if I would welcome any feedback that you have. But I also, I feel like I was a very strong candidate because I would, be open to, and then the rest of the script. Just go through it and pile it in. So I hope that helps, and you are welcome. And Connie Cotter, my boot camper leader and goal master woman as well, because that you're going to get that as well. Thank you for being just the beloved Connie, and we're looking forward to seeing you on September 13th, driving from Wisconsin. How can I schedule a personal and event? Well, you know I do those. I need some advice. I am extremely intimidated by a peer, and my attempts to address have not been working. Connie, we do. Well, I have the coaching sessions. We do them. So for anybody who does not know, there's a lot of programs in the Mile Walk Academy and a lot of ways to get help from me. And Connie is a boot camper, and she's a leader. So for a boot camper or a leader, I will do private coaching sessions. We do them through Zoom like this, not YouTube, but we do them through a private video program that allows us to interact, and we record it for you. So that's another great thing about it, and they're highly effective. If you are interested in one of those and you are in one of those programs, support@milewalk.com. If you are not in one of my programs, email support@milewalk.com, and we will let you know what your options are. Because depending on your particular situation, your situation determines the options that we give you. So it's a little bit on a case-by-case basis. All right, Connie, you know how to find us. Adam Stark, hey, following my question, messaging an employee on a potential target list company, if they don't suggest an introduction, should I ask them to? I would, yes. And at what point should I message a hiring manager? So, Adam, if I knew the hiring manager, I would message the hiring manager right now, hang up with me, and go. Right now. Don't even wait. Don't even watch the rest of the show. Like, if you all know who you want to target, I have Adam, you know this, but I don't know if everybody knows this. I have a technique called the boss hunting technique. I give you 2 cover letters that you can use. One, if you know if there's an opening and you've located the hiring manager. One, if you don't know if there's an opening and have located somebody who could be a potential hiring manager or a person of authority. I'd go after the person. I'd go the fastest route if I could. If that person did not get back to me, then I would go a more roundabout way to try to get to that person. Right away. No waiting. Unrepentant Drew. Unrepentant Drew. Also, please tell people to be careful of phishing attempts. I got an email to a job post that wanted to schedule an interview via Google Hangouts. Be careful out there. That's true. But usually you can figure those things out. I think you can. Jason Garrity, my boot camper, how you doing? Hope you are doing well. Metal Monkey Videos, hey, my boot camper, how are you? ZNat, hey, Andy, good morning. I have been interviewing with this company for 3 months since June. Had 4 rounds, including an on-site. Last Tuesday, I believe I wrapped up the last round. Awesome. You mentioned that the job description are the ideal candidate. That's true. That's what they hope you have. If they requested for a minimum X number of years of experience, can I apply anyway? I'm a career changer. So, Metal Monkey Videos, the short answer to the first question is even if you do not hit the minimum number of years, you can still apply. So, and what I'm getting at here, folks, is when they say we'd love 10 years of experience using this product, this technique, this function, this industry, whatever, you don't need 10, okay? You never need 10 when they say 10. 100%. That's what they'd like. They're trying to put a guideline out there so that somebody with 2 years doesn't apply. Okay, so keep that in mind. When they say 5 years, they don't mean 5 years. When they say 3 years, they don't mean 3 years. Okay? What they're doing is they're just trying to get a guideline. What I want you to do if you are looking at the job description is I want you to actually look at the list of requirements that they're giving you. If you are in the space, which MMV is not, but if you are in the space, meaning I'm a seller and I'm in healthcare and I'm just going to go to another company, or whether it's inside healthcare or inside financial services, and it's a sales position for something similar that I sell, and you want to move over, you will know what it truly takes to be successful in a role like that. You look at those requirements, you make sure that you hit the ones that we call them the keys to hire, but basically like, I gotta have this. Without this, you're not gonna make it. If you don't understand how to make a complex sale, and you've only been selling, $100 little software products, and we want you to sell $1 million conceptualizations, that's not going to work. Okay, so you're going to get dismissed right away. That's what I'm talking about. But if you've sold, software as a service, and this is software as a service, and they say 10 years, and you have 7 or something reasonable, you can go. Okay, so you've got the coverage, but you also want to make sure that if they look like they're harping on certain things that are really, really important to them, like you're seeing it a number of times, then it's going to be a hot button for them. Just make sure you have that. Now, with you being a career changer, that's a totally different animal. If you do not have the goods, like it's one thing if they say, well, we're looking for somebody with 10 years of experience. It's another thing if they say we're looking for somebody with 10 years of healthcare experience, or 10 years of training experience, or project management experience, and you don't have any. That's different. So if you're changing careers, there are degrees of change. Sometimes you're changing just one little thing about yourself. Sometimes you're changing multiple things about yourself. Sometimes you're doing something completely, completely different. So without knowing exactly what you're changing from and to, then I can't give an answer on that. But I think my first points still stick. So I hope that helps. All right. ZNAT. Hang on, am I losing my mind here? You know what? Hang on, I'm getting crossed up here. Sorry, guys. Because they're not running right away. Kara, I think I totally blew this. Can you clean me up on, okay, you know what? I'm not knowing you guys have multiple questions and data. I'm not getting it. So you know what? Kara, do me a favor. If I didn't answer those appropriately, clean them, combine them, put them in Slack, and then I'll swing back to them. Ryan Dunstan, hey. Lorena, hi. How are you? So yeah, okay. So guys, when you split up your write-ups, I don't know when you put 1, 2. I don't know how many that's of, and I'm not getting them all. So I'm getting a little lost in the chat there, but I'm gonna keep rolling. And Metal Monkey Videos, if we're not getting your stuff, you can always go into the boot camp and put it in there, and I'll answer it for you. You know what? I'm getting totally lost between those two. All right. I'm going to go on with Lorraine at 1047, Care. In your book, you said that laying out notes, questions show that you did your homework and you're not winging it. I did say that. How can one take advantage of this in a video interview whilst keeping eye contact? Well, first off, you shouldn't be looking at your notes. You shouldn't be looking at your notes when you're giving them a response. So that's okay. That's when they ask you a question and you're responding. When you are going to ask a question, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you looking down at your paper just to make sure that you got it. And then you look up just like you were in person with them. So I wouldn't worry about that. All right, you know what? Hey Kara, between ZNAT and Metal Monkey videos, I'm totally lost if the questions are related or if they're not related. So I'm skipping all of those. Marcus Wabshaw, 1 of 2. Andy, hey, best way to answer, how do you feel about working evenings, long days, once in a while? I feel fine about it because I do it every day. I don't want to commit myself to a terrible schedule, but I want to work for this company. How to sound dedicated without overcommitting myself to something I don't want. Well, first thing is I can help you with the process I would go through. I can't tell you if it's worth it for you. It's worth it for me. I'm building a business. I make a lot of mistakes. I need to work extra hard to cover the learning from the mistakes and to put the right stuff in motion. It requires extra work. I'm willing to do that. If you feel that this job in the long term will ultimately be great for you and you will enjoy it and you're not sacrificing time with your children or your wife or your partner, whoever, family, and you really want the opportunity and you feel like you're going to learn a ton, then you go. But the other thing too is I would try to investigate the level of commitment and what it's really going to take. It's one thing for me to say if somebody was going to be hiring me and they said, it's going to be a lot of work and we really need this and that. That's okay. I'm not about how many hours is it. My response back to them would be, okay, I will do whatever it takes to get whatever we need to get done at the right times. I would say that. But what I would do is I would want to understand, what is it that you want to have done by when? What resources do we have? What resources are you willing to commit to in the way of dollars, people, training, and so forth? So now I want to start making sure that they're not planning something unrealistically, going to hold me responsible for it, and not going to give me the tools to get there. That's your line of questioning. So you need to investigate how committed they are to this, how patient they're going to be, what happens if we don't hit those deadlines, what are our backup plans. There's a whole host of things that you want to look at around there. It is important. Actually, I don't believe you are in the boot camp, Marcus, but for everybody who is in the boot camp, all of this stuff is in a specialty section about how to evaluate small to medium-sized companies. And this is one of the lines of questioning of the areas that you need to investigate to make sure that you're not selling yourself down the river. But so for everybody who is in that program, you'll have access to all that at a very deep level. Okay, Kara, can you let me know, is those everything, or I will wait for your high sign. Let me take one more. Evelyn O. 30 plus years ago, the interviewing process was a one in-person interview and you were either offered the job or rejected. Why has this changed to the ridiculousness that it is today? So 30 years ago, it definitely was not that. Evelyn, I've been working for 31 years, and I remember all the interviews that I had. In my first interview out of college, I met 11 or 12 people for the company that I was going into. So I don't necessarily see it that way. That might have been what you experienced. What we're seeing today, and the technologies have changed by which people are getting into these processes. But every company has its own protocols and process, and what they feel is important and how they break up the interviews. I don't really have additional commentary on that. I think it's kind of like it's always been, that I've always experienced over the decades that I've been working. Applicant tracking systems have become more painful. We are now doing one-way video interviews that we were not doing before. These are technological, oh God, I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it just this once, advancements that are helping the process, or what people think are helping the process. No one seems to think that, but employers, and even employers would maybe argue. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot more. Okay. Let me see. Well, Kara, is that first one? Okay, I'm gonna try to get that ZNAT question back. I think this is it. Interviewing with the company for 3 months since June, had 4 rounds, including an on-site. Last Tuesday, I believe I wrapped up the last round. It's been more than a week, and the company still hasn't gotten back to me about the hiring decision. I followed up. Okay, so first thing, break right there. When you're done, all of you, when you get done with any interview, I don't care if it's the first interview, phone screen, first one with the hiring official, first face-to-face, doesn't matter. What's next? By when? When am I going to hear from you from? Or you're following up with the recruiter. What's the usual process? What do I have to wait for? When is that going to be? It's okay to ask that, and downright a good thing to do, because then your expectations are managed. Then you know how to proceed with the contacting and the follow-up. And we're actually going to do a video on this, by the way. But that's the first thing. Now, just because a week has gone by doesn't mean that's an eternity. That might be nothing for them. They might be in the process with other candidates. They're trying to catch those candidates up to you. If you don't know what that is, then we don't know if we need to panic or not. So no big deal. You followed up yesterday, no response. Does it raise a red flag about the company or the hiring team if the interview process is extremely long? That's not extremely long to me. So the question is, at this point, you made the contact. What I would have done, if you all are blind going in, meaning you didn't ask, you didn't get, or you asked and you didn't get what is expected. Hey, we're in the process. We should know something in a week. We should know something in 2 weeks. Hey, the boss man, he's out on a vacation. Whatever it might be. If you did not ask that and you were going to follow up, I would wait a week. I would email back. I would say, just checking in. I'm extremely excited about this opportunity. Feel I'm a strong fit. Just wanted to follow up. Could you please let me know if there are any updates? And if there are no updates, when might you expect an update to come? Something on that order. So you want to make sure that you're doing that, because that's important. That's okay if there's no update. Respond to me anyway and let me know what to expect. So that's what I would do. Now, if you didn't ask them that, which you're right, if you sent your message and you didn't ask that, I'd wait another week. But it's hard to say, but I would wait one more week. I would not do anything. I would not be contacting them constantly. Okay, that was on ZNet. All right, where are we at? 11:28. All right, I'm going to take a drink, and then I want to give you a couple announcements. Looks like StreamHealth's good. Kara's corralling all those chat things that got broken up. Okay, real quick. I'm going to just give you, Chicago meet and greet. We have a meet and greet where you can meet me and Kara and my mom and my dad and my wife. I'm not bringing the dogs, though. So Harley and Ginger are going to be at Nana and Papa's at Bub City in Rosemont, which is near O'Hare, very close, on Friday, September 13th at 2 o'clock. We are in the Nashville Hot Corner section of the Country Style Bar, and I will be there pouring the drinks. So hopefully you can make that. And we've got a goal-setting masterclass coming up, okay? A lot of you, I got a little story here that is a continuation of something that I told you on Tuesday in my recorded video. I have a goal-setting masterclass. It is 3 days, 9 hours. We are going to be building a premium course in the Mile Walk Academy. It starts on Tuesday. It's Wednesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. roughly each day, Central Time in the U.S. Now, I want to tell you this little story about why we're even having that class and why this is even possible. And I want to tell you this little story because I think it bears on this discussion and this announcement. On Tuesday, a couple days ago, I released a video about you are more valuable than you think. And we had a Careers in Coffee after the session. I talked about the positive ripples and impact that you all have in your lives if you take a step back, gain some perspective about what actually happens as a result of your existence and everything that you do. So I'm chalking this one up to chalk this up under the category of never underestimate the power of anything you say to anyone about anything ever. So we have this course. We're going to create it. The only reason we have this course is because I wrote this book. Now, some of you know and have read this book. 100 and some of you took it yesterday. You can get this. It's free and a whole bunch of other stuff if you pay the material and handling fee. The only reason this book exists is because I once gave a speech in 2013 to about 300 or 400 people. The reason that's important is because after I gave that speech, about a month later, I was having lunch with my friend Jim Vasilopoulos, who is one of the two talents for the Leadership Podcast and a great leader in and of his own right. But he's a dear friend, and we were having lunch, and it was one of those, hey, how you doing? What have you been doing? I said, I gave this speech. He said, hey, have you ever, kind of gave me one of those. He said, have you ever heard of This Is Water? I said, this is what? He says, This Is Water by David Foster Wallace. He says, it's a book. And it actually was a speech. It was a commencement speech that he gave to Kenyon College students, the graduating class in 2005. And then that speech became a book. He said, I'll send you a clip on it. So I got the clip, watched the clip, looked at it. I was like, hey, got the book. Book's awesome. I was like, dang, my speech was like twice that long. I bet that's a book. So off I go. I create this book. In 2014, it comes out. And here we are today. So Jim Vasilopoulos mentioned something to me. I decide we should go do something. Here we are years later. Then a bunch of you are going to participate. Some of you are going to enroll in it, and so on, and crush your goals and impact others and their lives, and so on and so forth, forever and ever till we all die. Right? That's what I'm talking about when I say ripples. Have you ever heard of This Is Water? Right? Think about that. Now, some of you, if you come to the Chicago meetup, I'm gonna drag his butt there because I'm gonna show him this clip, and I'm gonna tell him, Jimmy, you better get your arse there and hug my people and tell them, I'll tell them what a great guy you are. But it is what I meant. It's the same kind of stuff we were talking about on Tuesday. I do think it's important. It's going to be a great time. You do need to register if you want all the goodies and you want to get inside with us in the Zoom platform and you want to participate and get all the stuff and be able to communicate with me during the program. So if you've been getting announcements from me and stuff on social media, get into that. Get into that if you're interested. We have 500 seats. That's it. So not only get into it, but show up early, and we'll figure all that out. But a lot of people are taking me up on it, and like I said, it's gonna be great. So I hope you can make it. All right, I got more announcements, but we'll hold those off. All right. MMV, Metal Monkey. 3 questions. I have a UK degree with second class, first upper division, and during one of my interviews, they asked me, what did that mean? I'm going to ask you what that means. I don't even know what that means. I'm in the U.S. Should I include a GPA equivalent score on my resume? I don't know what second class, first upper division, or any of that is. I don't know in the UK. I mean, I'm assuming that you have bachelors and masters and PhDs and all kinds of stuff. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So I don't know what second class, first upper division, or any of that is, but maybe I should. I don't know, but I don't know that putting a GPA on will make any difference. All right. Is there a way to track a LinkedIn in-mail just like how one can track a regular email? If I sent a message, I do not believe so. If anybody out there knows a way to do that, let us know. I would be really surprised if there was. All right, third question. I've been receiving in-mails through LinkedIn from recruiters, but they all use the same template. Do you know if there's a way to know if it's fishy or not? Yes. That's Kara maybe saying Yes. Okay. Do you know if it's fishy or not? So I don't know what the template is. I don't know who the recruiters are, but this much I would tell you. I would respond to all of them. And the only way you're going to know what's going on is by responding. And Metal Monkey videos, all you need to do for you is watch my video on working with third-party search firms or executive recruiters. You can also watch the one on working with corporate recruiters. That's a really good one too. And inside the boot camp, you have a specialty section about there's a module on searching if you are an executive or over 50. Not that you need to be either of those, but in that module, there is a section on working with recruiters, executive recruiters as well. It's a pretty good clip. So I would try that. And then Nat Z said, when company is telling you they have 2 openings, but you are more interested in one versus the other, should you communicate that at the beginning or wait until the interviews are all done? If you are interviewing for 2 positions at a company at the same time, I'm assuming it's a large company. If I'm the recruiter handling you, I don't have a problem with, hey, he or she is a good fit here. He or she might be a good fit there, and let the hiring officials kind of assess early so that they don't take you down 2 processes. And then if you are equally awesome at both, then it becomes a matter of one of 2 things. If you have a strong preference and they are open to you selecting that, some companies are like that. They want you to work in the position that you like more. Other companies, if you were working with me at Mile Walk, even if you were more interested in that position, but you were either a greater fit in this or this was a greater need for me, I would say this is the opportunity that I have for you. I would like you to work here, and we will do what we can to kind of get you in, upskill you or train you over or whatever it is. I would first thing that I would do is find out more about each of these. You may have a preference at this moment. My guess is that if you're asking me the question right now, that your preference is based on limited information. So and it may not change, but I'm just saying I would get more information before I made any kind of decision, and it is okay to let the company know if you have a preference, for sure. Okay. All right, Kara, I'm going back into the chat. All right. Lorena, I created a list. Yes, I saw. Oh, wait. All right. I got Lorena at 10:49. Kara, let's catch up there. I think you caught me up, and thank you for that. And sorry for all the back and forth. All right, Lorena, I created a list of questions for each interviewer. How many questions are too many? There's no such thing as too many. Seriously, there's no such thing. You ask them until you're done, and if you don't get them all in the session, then you figure out a way to get them somewhere throughout the process, even if you have to extend the process. Is it okay to have 3 per section? It's 45-minute interview with each. So Lorena, here's how I would do this. For everybody, you should check my video out about how to choose the right job. The reason I mentioned that video is that video will help you identify your needs and your requirements. Once you do that, you're going to generate your list of questions. What Lorena is talking about here about company job interviewer is I have some ways to classify the questions so that you can ask them in a uniform and strategic manner. You can isolate the ones for the particular interviewers you're interviewing with, and it's a way of organizing what it is you want to ask, because you want to have a flow to the way you're asking your questions. You don't want to be hopping all over the place, and you want to keep the stream of everybody's consciousness in order. This does that. So go check that out. And the other thing that you can look at for help there is the free webinar I have called 3 Keys to Ace Any Job Interview. It's a recorded webinar. All you need to do is sign up for it. We send you an email. You can watch it whenever you want, so you don't need to set a time or any of that stuff. Once you get all your questions in order, then you need to look at your body of questions. You need to prioritize them based on the weight of your requirements, meaning which of your requirements are the most important. If they are the most important, you're looking for, when you prioritize your questions, you want to look for what's most important to me in conjunction with information I need to get from them. Who is it that I'm speaking with? So even though this might be most important to me, if I'm speaking with the HR person, I can't necessarily ask these questions over here. So we're going to have to park those, and then I need to focus on the most important stuff for the HR person or the hiring official or the whoever or the internal customer, whatever it is. How many questions you have is irrelevant. You ask and keep asking until the time runs out. What you don't want to do is run out of questions. Nothing is worse than ending an interview like this. Do you have any more questions for me? And you say, no, I think I got it all. I never want to hear those words out of anybody's mouth. What I'd rather you say is, you know what, I know we're coming up to the end of time for the session. I do have more questions. I can certainly continue on in the process and ask the other folks, or we can swing back. And then I would try to close it and make the sale in the interview with whoever I was interviewing with, about asking any reservations and all this other stuff that I recommend. And that's in the Interview Intervention book. But that's how I would do that. You never want to run out of questions. And for you senior folks out there, it is very common for senior folks to meet with very senior folks in the company, and those very senior folks come packed with, what questions do you have for me? Like, that's the first question they ask you, and you need 60 minutes of questions, and you better never run out. So just remember that. So there's no such thing as too many. Do not think you are bothering them, and if they think you are bothering them, that's not a company for you. Why would anybody want you to come and work for them if they have not thoughtfully answered all the questions or any concerns that you have? Is beyond me. So just keep that in mind. Great question. Let's see. John Bailey, hey, how are you? Had a second interview yesterday. Waiting to hear back. Said a little prayer for you today, my friend, on my run. Anna Goldman, good afternoon. And yeah, it's afternoon. It is afternoon, almost for everybody now. Good afternoon, everyone. Last 11 days of my unemployed life, leadership and career accelerators. Yes, you are. So exciting. You are welcome. And that message you sent me was just the damn best. I mean, it was pretty dang fun. Okay. Let me see. Where am I at? Hand slipped again. Dang. All right. Metal Monkey Videos is 1 of 2. Beautiful. Is it the type of job that gets people hired faster? I'm not sure. My husband told me he sent out 40 apps, 15 interviews. I'm not sure where that came from. Kara, you have got to help me with those. I'm not sure what that is. All right, Lorena, I got you at 11:56. When sending the thank you notes to multiple interviewers, is it okay to keep the same layout and only change the particularities of what you've discussed, or would it feel too prepared and robotic? Awesome question. I need to give you a gift for that one, because this is really good. All right, let's try to give you all of it at once. So Lorena and everyone else, thank you notes. Here's what can happen. You go and you talk to one person, send them an email. You want to send them a thank you card in the mail? Totally fine and up to you. And depending on who it is, it might be highly appropriate or not. If you go and you meet with multiple people, so 2 individuals, what's the situation here? I meet with one person, then I meet with the next person, not at the same time. They each get their own email, and in both cases, you copy the recruiter, the HR person, or whoever is quarterbacking your process. Always copy the recruiter. Now, when you send your emails to the 2 different people, it is okay to say, thank you for your time. It was great to meet you. Thank you for your time. It was great to meet you. At the bottom, it's okay to say, I'm looking forward to next steps, can't wait, I'm more excited, this and that. It's okay to say the same thing. In the middle paragraph, that's the money paragraph. That's the one that says, and I feel like I'm a strong candidate because. And what you want to make sure that you do, whether you met with them serially or whether you met with them all together. So if you had a panel interview, you got 4 of these people, this applies. Whether you went 4, 1 in a row, or 1 at a time, or whether you went once, 4 at one time. Every single person gets an individual middle section in that thank you. You have got to put something in there that sells you that was important to that person. Okay, so the short answer is everybody gets a slightly unique message, even panel interview. Do not send one email to 4 people, and do not send one email to 2 people, and do not send the same email to different people. None of that stuff. So you need to figure out what resonated. You meeting with the chief marketing officer, a sales rep, and an engineer, you better hit something that's important to them that you connected on with them that will resonate with why you are the best candidate. And you need to do that the whole way through. So that's a really great question. It is very, very confusing. That's what I recommend. And so it's more than just, hey, here's how to write the thank you email. Okay, wait, announcement here. Let's put this one in. It's the Interview Intervention book. A lot of you know you can get this. You get the ebook, the audiobook. You get an extra ebook called How to Interview the Employer, 75 Great Questions to Ask Before You Take Any Job. And I send you the hardcover. But in here's the sample. There's a sample thank you template. There might even be one floating around on my blog or on the YouTube channel somewhere. But get the book. And on page 83, in fact, is the thank you template. So, okay, so we knocked off that announcement. Evelyn O, Natalie, oh, I love it. Alina, I went for a very fast 6-mile run today. It was 55 degrees when I started and 65 when I was done, and I felt like I should have ran 12 miles, but I didn't have time. Okay, yeah, I know. And thank you for that tear-jerking testimonial that you emailed us, and I hope your 3-year-old is okay. All right, MK, my leader, how you doing? My boot camper, how you doing? Always great to have you. Dean, question, Andy, down and dirty, what is the best text to use on LinkedIn to ask for job referrals? How about I need your help, I need referrals? So one thing that I would recommend for you, Dean, and everybody else, if you, I don't know if I released it yet. Okay, I believe on my YouTube channel, we did a live stream as part of a job search accelerator workshop. It was a 3-day event. Oh man, you're gonna have to help me with this one. The middle day of the 3 days was on the perfect networking message. Dean, check that out. And it's like the anatomy of the perfect job search networking message or something like that. The anatomy of a job search networking message. And I cover the 7 points that you need to get into the messaging. And it's okay to ask for job referrals, but there's a process to go through. And I take you through that in that video. I'm actually doing a cut up of that. That'll be a shorter video that'll be released, I don't know, like months from now, but that one is up, and I think you could go watch it, and you don't need to watch the whole 2 hours or whatever. Just watch the first, 10 or 20 minutes, and it'll cover all that stuff. Yeah, so Alina, I've got dogs everywhere, and I'm trying something different today to see, because I'm going to be gone. I don't want to leave them alone. And normally they're in the crate when I'm doing this because they're a little barky. But yes. Christy, hey, my boot camper. Bay Area. Sam, how are you? Lunch break. Awesome. So juiced and focused on this new job 4 weeks in. You are welcome for that. Always great to have you, my friend. Hopefully you're still here. John Paul, hey. Is that Finland or Florida? Yeah, Harley and so I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see that? Okay, that's the bed that they are always in throughout they never moved from that bed. But now the sun comes out it rises in the east on that side of my house, and then it goes to the west. And we have a lot of windows on the side of the house, and we have a lot of windows in the front of the house. So what they do is we have beds planted in the sun spots. So now they want to stay in those spots. So that's what they're doing. So normally this is their lunchtime, and they would be sitting here begging me to eat. So I had to feed them before we started. I tried to keep them out. But yes. 777 Mammy. Hey, Mike Elliott, how are you? Lorena, yes, boot camper wannabe. Okay, boot camp announcement. On September 18th, we have a live private boot camper session. And then in October, there's like a 5-week run between October and November. It's like mid-October into November. It is a great time to join the boot camp because you can get in, go through everything, and then show up on the 18th and ask me your questions. And on the 18th, we're going to be doing a special on the applicant tracking system. I know I always recommend not using it, but I feel like we need to arm you with everything we got if you have to use it. So you should check it out, and if you got any questions, let us know. And if you want $100 off, it's we haven't run a special on it in a while, and it's $597. I'll give it to you for $497 if you mention this, if you mention my mention, and just send us an email at support@milewalk.com, because we have to give you a special link or coupon or however we're doing that these days. But it's great. It's great if you are on the fence. And if any boot campers want to share, we are getting video testimonials. They're coming in every day from people that are in the leadership program and the boot camp and stuff. I mean, I sit there and I watch them and I cry because I can't get over how awesome these things are about saving their lives and all that good stuff. And maybe we'll show some of them to you next week. Just awesome stuff. Kirsty B, how you doing? Thank you for the birthday wishes. Ilya, hey, first live office hours. You gotta let me know where you're from, but welcome, my friend. Can we all give Ilya a wonderful live office hours hug? Hopefully I pronounced that name correctly. I think I did. I'm thinking I did. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Great to see you for dinner last night. Carl, how you doing? Uzoma! Hey, buddy. Good to be connected with you on LinkedIn. To Crash. Gary, how you doing? Good morning, boot campers from Southern Cal. I have 4 interviews today and tomorrow. That's a boot camper. Those are boot camper stats. I love it. Follow the program for. I love that you said that, Gary. I want to thank you, my friend. My wife also stole your cup again this morning. The one with my face on it. Maybe that's why she likes it. People that are interested in the job search boot camp. It is thorough. It is a system. It has a framework. It says do this first, do this second, do this third, do this fourth. In this order, don't tinker with it, and so on. When you go through it and use it that way, you get great results. And what a lot of them do is they get in, and I've even shot a video for them of how exactly to go through it to get the most out of it, like how I would go through the modules, what I would do. But what you have to remember about your job search, folks, is if you do not have a systematic approach, I don't care if you are in a job or you are full-time looking for a job. If you do not have a thoughtful approach and a way to go about it that helps you not only identify where you should be searching, meaning the right career, the right jobs, the right companies, and so on, but also once you surface them, how to evaluate them. And when you surface them, how do you market yourself to them? How do you get yourself to them directly? How do you get them to yourself in a roundabout way if you need to? And then how do you interview effectively and negotiate and set yourself up throughout the entire process? Then there are all these nuances about some of the things I mentioned about how, well, what if you're interviewing with a small or medium-sized company? Got you covered. What if you're interviewing at a unique period throughout the year? I got you covered. What if you have a situation where you are a higher earner or you are an older or more tenured worker. We got you covered. What if you want to change careers? We got stuff for that, right? That's module based. So it's everything, but it should be thoughtfully approached, not haphazardly in a panicked mode. That's not going to lead to good results. It's not going to lead to good results. If you just catch your breath, sit back, go through the process, you will know what to do because you'll have the blueprint for it, and you're going to get results a lot faster. So Gary, man, I got my arms and toes and fingers and legs and everything crossed for you, buddy. You're a good dude. Oh man, Ilya is, oh my God, that's awesome. Anna, you're like the greatest little recruiter ever. That's great. Christina, you're welcome. Joe Winter from Louisville. Joe, I was talking to my Ironman coach the other day, and he said that they were going down to kind of track the Louisville Ironman to get it ready for the team and all that good stuff. Maybe I'll come visit you. All right. Good morning, Andy. For my name on my resume, I do not use my first name on a daily basis. Is it okay to use Joe or should I use Robert? And yes, you are a beloved boot camper. Honestly, Joe, if you want, you could do a couple things. I would not use Robert Winter. I would not use Robert Joe Winter. In that fashion, I would probably put Robert Joe in parentheses Winter. And then that's the way I would actually do that so that it's easy for them in the event that they're looking you up. And the other thing is what I always like to plan for success. I always assume you're going to be successful. So the HR people, the recruiter, and everybody who's going to get your paperwork for that job offer and all that good stuff, they're going to start taking stuff off the resume. So you want them to have it. And then it would be easy when they look at your resume and say, oh, he goes by Joe. That's how I would do it. All right. Hope that helps. Fat Brown Toys Friends. Hey, from Bangkok. Cheryl, how are you? Connie Cotter, yes. Yeah, Connie Cotter, you're gonna get to meet Mom LaCivita. $12 cut pizza, you gotta be a new timer. For a job for the New York Department of Labor, how would you say why you want this job? Since it's not a normal company, I'm having trouble coming up with the 10 reasons why. 12 cut, you don't need 10 reasons. I know you must have watched my video on why do you want to work here. But I would think about, it doesn't matter which company you want to work for. It doesn't matter if it's a community, a nonprofit, a government, a bureau, a municipality, anything like that. What is it about being in the Department of Labor that excites you? Do you enjoy, right, employment? Do you enjoy, like for me, I think the stuff that's cool about that, like I love the statistics. I love the fact that this is what life is all about, being part of employing people, giving them a purpose, and so on. I would think deeply and just say, this is one of the things that really interests me about working in this department. And I would wrap it up that way. But I would just think through, what is it about that? Why? And actually, not to get too philosophical, like ask yourself, why does that interest you? And it's okay to say, these are the things that are of interest, what drove me here, and why I'm investigating this opportunity. And that's all. And your reasons they should be unique to you and about what excites you. So what excites me might not excite some people. So think about that. Nice W75. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Kristen Morrison, been missing you, probably because you're busy at work. I love that. Brooke Sachs, another boot camper and a leader from Eddie Tan's a new boot camper. Yes, you did, my friend. You jumped in big. I love it. Kathleen Evans. Hey, that's right. We got our resumeers. I forgot to mention the resume writing masterclass. We did a special. Oh, God. Days ago. We did a special a week or two ago. And it's like a $300 program. and I'm offering it for $49. It's awesome. And then we had a live session, like maybe last Thursday it was, I think. Kara, I can't even remember. My days are blitzed. But we did that. I answered 66 resume questions. So now there's a video with 66 resume questions answered, not to mention a whole bunch of other stuff. If you are interested in getting in that, it's a great way to just kind of get a taste for my teaching, the environment inside the Mile Walk Academy, and for $49, it's a great deal. You'll never get that deep. You'll never find anything out there. I challenge you. You go find something that's that awesome, that's that deep, that does all that stuff with all that content for $49. That's that effective. I will give you your $49 back. You got to show me that though, because that you ain't gonna find that. You're gonna be paying a lot of money to get that stuff. So take it, $49. It's in your email that I sent you earlier today. All right, enough of that. Go call. Hey, how are you? First timer, love it. You hear me, but no video. That is not normal. Tanya, how are you? You're welcome. Taunter. Yes, Evelyn, thank you for that. I did recently receive my YouTube button. It's the silver button. It is somewhere in the box still over on the other side of the table, but I unwrapped it with my Careers and Coffee people because it is about you. It is not about awards. All the trophies are in the drawer somewhere. It's what they symbolize, but thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Trent, how are you? One of two. Hey, Andy, upcoming college graduate. Wonderful. Should I list my GPA on the resume? I would not. I don't think it's necessary. I didn't see it listed. It's not. I wouldn't. They're going to ask you for your transcript. I don't know that it's going to matter all that much. The 3.06, I'm assuming you mean out of a 4. That could be a 5. Either way, I don't think it'll matter that much. That was one of two. Where's the other one? I also have a lot of industry experience that conflicts with my high school experiences for space. Thoughts? Keep up the great work. You are welcome. If you have industry experience, that supersedes any high school experience, and you should have no trouble getting all of that into one page. And I'm assuming you said upcoming college graduate, so I would not worry about the stuff I did in high school. Not too much. I would favor the industry experience. Fat Brown Toys, friends. I always had a management role. Wait, that's a question. I always had management role in small, medium companies like production manager, factory manager. Okay, I'm in Asia, and I like to apply for supplier, quality manager, buyer. How to transpose that in CV? I'm not. I would check out my Career Changers playlist. I don't think so. I mean, you are in the manufacturing arena, and the fact that you are moving from one type of managerial role to another plays well for you. So production, you're managing the whole factory, managing production. The next thing over is quality, is quality control. So I would talk about your management experience. I would talk about your manufacturing knowledge, working knowledge of the entire manufacturing and the supply chain itself, the development and the whole chain itself. But that's pretty good. I mean, you're starting from a good spot. All right, Kirsty B. Andy, do you recommend still sending a rejection letter directly to the company even if you interviewed through a third-party recruiter? I would. I would copy the recruiter. It is no different to me than a thank you email because it's a thank you / cover letter. That's kind of the blend of the content that goes in it. So yes, 100%. I would. If one of my candidates got rejected like that and wanted to send that message, I think it's totally okay, and I would let him or her. And Kirsty, thanks for the congrats. Alex, I know that's you. See, now that I know that's your handle, I know it's you. I read your response to question why you are looking to leave your existing employer? Cool. Is it okay to respond because of the limited advancement opportunities in my region? No. Employer moved headquarters. Okay. That's different. Okay. So here's what you want to make sure that you are not doing. If you said to me, there's limited advancement opportunities in my region, I would say, okay, what have you considered? So now you've opened this up to a dialogue. The longer you are in the dialogue, the worse it is. Okay, so you want the answer. There are certain questions where you want to respond and you want to be done. Okay, this is one of them. This question. So people, there's 14 magical questions that I think an employer should ask you. And then there's variations of those 14. One of those 14 is, why are you looking to leave your current employer? Or why did you leave? Or why were you let go? Or anything of that. That's one different style of question. What you want to make sure that you do. So Alex asked me this the other day. I pointed Alex to the Interview Intervention book, and that I gave a response there. The response itself is to ensure that whatever you share with the employer is a dead shut, nothing you can do about it kind of thing. And that if you have aspirations, you need to make sure that they are not aspirations that you could do something about. Like whether it was taking the initiative, why didn't you take the initiative? Maybe you're not doing your job effectively enough, therefore you're not being given the opportunity. So what Alex is saying is, well, the employer is moving, and with it, I'm assuming, are going a lot of the jobs, the opportunities that need to be done at the employer's headquarters. So the way I would package that is, the reason that I'm open to leaving is because I currently work at the employer's headquarters, but they're moving the headquarters, as well as many of the the higher level positions that would be the next logical progressions for me at the organization. I am a very loyal person, but my career progression matters to me, and so long term there's not going to be a lot of opportunity unless I move, which I'm not willing to do because is a magical phrase that shuts it down usually. Okay, so that's what you want to say. Because my family's rooted here, I would never consider leaving. I love this place. All my friends are here. I don't really care. But that's why. So I started to investigate other opportunities. That's it. Done. End of story. I would not ask you anything if that's the way you packaged that question. Go back to it, 12:05 to 12:08. So an hour and 5 to an hour and 8 if you want to rewind it. All right, Natalie Taylor, much love and thanks. You are welcome. Yeah, stay positive. I love that. Stay plus. Raphael, do I add the company first with the years I have worked there first, or the description of what I did? Company, here, I'm going to do it to you. Company, years over here on the right, what would be the right to you, and then underneath it, run the description. All right. Metal Monkey Videos. My earlier questions disappeared, so here it is again. Metal Monkey, we're trying to find all your stuff here. Huh? My earlier questions disappeared, so here it is again. You mentioned the job requirements. Are they ideal? Can I still apply? I did answer that. I did answer that one, I believe, right? We went through that one. Peter Torres, great to see you. Awesome. Good luck. Okay, we got the UK degree. Alex, so if you all are in an interview, this goes for phone, video, in person, panel, I don't care. You should be allowed to take notes. And as a matter of fact, if you didn't take notes, I'd be a little surprised, and that would count as a knock against you. Because there's absolutely no way you're going to remember everything I'm telling you. Now, I like you to take notes in shorthand, meaning not actual shorthand, just, codes for yourself. 7 people, team, boom, whatever, you know what I mean? So instead of writing all the sentences and all that good stuff out, give yourself things to go back to. If you're really smart, you are creating a document with your questions and space to take notes for what they're telling you. So you don't write so I have a spreadsheet. You should load up your questions so you have it so you can rate everything. But when you go into the interview, I would transport the things that I need, prioritize it in a Word document, make space. So I'd put the question and I'd leave space in notes so I can write, or a box or whatever. That's what I would do. You should. You should. It's a ding if you don't. I think I got the LinkedIn message one. Jose Velasquez. What can I do if the interviewer tells a lot of bad words, underestimate your experience, says crap to the tools you use during the interview? Should I leave or wait till it ends? Jose, okay, so if it's me, now, wait, if it's me, I would likely say, if you are representative of the people that work here, I would never want to work at this company, and I would get up and I'd walk out. I would do that because I'm the guy that will leave the movie theater 15 minutes in if he doesn't like the movie. Because the only thing worse than me spending, what does it cost now? $15, $30 if I bring my wife and hopefully we didn't buy popcorn. The only thing worse than spending the 30 is sitting through it for another 90 minutes. Okay? So if I am at the point where I absolutely know that this is it, and some people say, well, you're burning a bridge or whatever. You know what? I value my time so much that I would leave. Now, 99.9% of you might want to just play it out. And then what I would do is if I finished out the interview, I would go back to the recruiter or the HR person and say, look, I was really excited about the opportunity to work here. I don't think that I would be a great fit just based on the behavior of the interviewers and, kind of the interaction there. And I wouldn't say anything. And then they're going to say, what are you talking about? Just say, well, just the interviewer was using a lot of curse words. They were really, down talking the tools you use or whatever, whatever it was. And, I like to be around more positive people and actually a little bit more professional people. So I'm assuming that this must be what the employees are like here. So if that's the case, I'm sure I wouldn't fit. And that would be it. And I would bug out. John, how are you? Ange N. I've applied to a large firm, 30,000. Okay, what is your advice on messaging this head of the department in LinkedIn directly to spotlight my application? Ange, what I would have done is I would have sent the head of the department a direct email with my resume. That would have gotten your spotlight. And then I would have tracked it using Read Notify and see if he or she opened or whoever, I don't know if it's a he or she. And that's what I would have done first. Now that you've submitted your resume into the database of a 30,000 person company, I don't know how long ago you applied, but 30,000 person companies going into the ATS, you have a very low percentage of it ever being seen and an even lower percentage of you being called. So what I would do is I would probably wait a few days. If I don't get any response, I would use my boss hunting technique. Just go to my channel, boss hunting, watch the video, take the download, send that to the head of the department like you never applied. That's it. If you want, I wouldn't even say I applied. Because if you say you applied, then he or she might dismiss it, assuming like, oh, well, I'll let the others fish it out. Do that. Final answer. Advice for rejected internal candidates. And this is great, first timer. Enigmatic Psych. How are you? Or Psyche, I suppose. So great to have you. I love this stuff. I would say if you are a rejected internal candidate, I would be working the avenues. This is different than being rejected external candidate. fits me, I don't get the job, I would try to get the feedback in a positive manner. Hey, I love this company. That's why I'm interviewing internally. So I was really excited about the opportunity. Would just love to know if you have any feedback. If there's any gap in my skills or whatever, what can I do to improve them? What can I, and I would do that. That is the live version of the rejection letter, but adopting it for being inside. That's all. And then, keep rolling. All right. Let's see. P. Rogers 50. I don't know if Kara got that to me, but we're getting to it. Cool. P. Rogers 50. Panel interviewer 1 asks, how do you handle client above your head to your manager? How do you handle client going above your head to your manager in past experience? As an account manager, I cited an example, but the interview said, go back to the same. I don't understand. I'm P. Rogers, I'm sorry. I do not understand what... I don't know what the example was that you cited, and I don't know why they would ask you to repeat it. So I'm still confused about it. Tanter, I knew that. I figured that out, actually. But should I apply for senior roles, even though I've never been in one, but been in a senior role, but have 12 years of experience in the industry? It depends what the senior role is. So if you are somebody who, say, works in a large, this for anybody, you work in a large company and you've got, you've kind of gone through the ranks, you're the team leader or whatever, and you're doing some great stuff. You want to hop over to a different company. Maybe it's the same industry, maybe it's just different company type, maybe it's the same company type, maybe it's a smaller company. Then you have to look at, well, what does that senior position do at the other company? Now, I went from a company that had, many thousands and tens of thousands of people, and I managed a portfolio that was like $13 million of revenue of my clients. I then went to a company that had a portfolio of like half of that. And so all of a sudden I was a very senior person of this smaller company. And then we grew that company. Depending on the transfer, you could be applying for something that is wholly perfect for you. But if you don't have it isn't about it's a senior role. Look at the job description. See what the job description is calling for. What do we need this person to do? Can you do that? And not only can you do that, but can you make the case that you can do that? And then the other thing is, I would probably be trying to apply to those roles outside of the applicant tracking system. It would be way better if you had somebody coming back saying, Tanya's awesome, man. You really need to talk to her. Like, that's how I would go about that. Yes, I'm go. Just, kind of don't go blindly. Hey, Christy. Hi, what is the hierarchy for best contact method for a hiring manager? I am considering signing up for LinkedIn Premium to get InMail. Can't pinpoint team hiring manager in large organizations. Thoughts? Christy, if you are my boot camper, Christy, I think and by the way, this is another reason why I like to know if you're in my programs or not, because I can give you advice that says, if you go into the boot camp and you go to the specialty video on LinkedIn X-Ray, where we show you how to use Google Boolean to go outside the LinkedIn database to target the hiring managers at particular companies and get their email addresses and so on, you would have all of that. So I think you are, and so that's what I'm going to tell you. So first thing is, go to the boot camp, go to the section where in Module 3 about LinkedIn X-Ray, where we talk about LinkedIn X-Ray, how to find anybody you want using the strings we give you and just setting, the different names and the titles and whatever, and you can play around with that. It's like just drop the stuff in. It's really awesome. And then that will help. Then you don't need a LinkedIn Premium account, and you would email them directly. And this is much better to do it this way because we know a lot of you are getting put in LinkedIn jail as you're doing all your searching. Can I get a show of hands somewhere in the chat? How many, can you let me know if you've ever been in LinkedIn jail where LinkedIn literally blocks you from searching or they only give you like 3 results back? You go my route, you never have to worry about that, and you can get more targeted searching. So, Christy, go to that spot. If you are not in the boot camp, then I would get some LinkedIn Premium account. I don't know what the varying prices are these days. I have a LinkedIn Premium account. I pay $19 a month. I have every year since 2004 or whatever, when I first got it or whatever it was. But I know it's more expensive now, and then maybe you can pay on the annual basis or whatever. But that's what I would try. But I think you're my boot camper, Christy. All right. I don't know what your handle is. IAAJ Jiggly. I got asked if I applied to other jobs. I said yes. You should have. Also, when they ask where did you hear about the job, I said Indeed, which is true. Great. No. Perfect. You were honest. Do that. Iowa State double E 92. Okay, you got to tell me what your name is, man. NOHR. So I am an Iowa State double E 1988. Just lost job on severance 6 months. Got an offer, but it's $20K less than I have been earning. No, it's actually, not to be funny, you earn 0. Your market ability based on your history was $20K higher. But I'm just teasing you there. Few opportunities in my city for a BS, EE, MBA, 27 years. Take it or wait. I can't tell you that because I don't know. If you have a lot of money saved up and you want to go a little longer and you want to make sure you find the right thing, I'm good with that. You want to take this at $20K less and try to negotiate up. That'd be probably my first option. I would try to negotiate my way up. You could take it and keep looking. And then when they say, why are you open to leaving? Say, I was evaluating the opportunities at the time. I was out of work for a few months. I felt like it was better to I like to be engaged and be in the game. I took a pay hit. And I'm continuing to look for something that I think is more challenging and more suitable for me and whatever. I'm okay with that. I get that. We get that. We talk to people that are like that. We know that. So I would think about that, though. Ryan, how are you, my friend? Thank you for the birthday wishes. Znat, you're welcome. Ahmad, question. I just interviewed for a position. It is a 5-month contract, and they are not sure if they will get funding from the government in the new year. It's a hard decision to make. Any advice? Here again. Ahmad, wait, these are all great questions, folks, but Ahmad, you're the only one that's going to be able to answer that. I have different parameters and conditions and an environment that I make my decisions in. Everybody's is unique. You have yours, right? Znat has Znat's. Carrie has hers. So this is what I would say to you. If you feel like it's better to be in the game, take the contract for 5 months. If you like it, you think it'll be a nice little feather in your cap, there's nothing wrong with a 5-month contract. There's nothing wrong if it ends. Then you're in the same position you are now, except 5 months from now, what is it? It's January. I like that. What else do you have? I'm on a contract. I'm working, right? So I like that. Those are all positive. You could take that contract and immediately keep looking. And so I don't know if you are a perpetual contractor, that you always like contracts, or if you want full-time. But there's nothing wrong with being on a contract and continuing to look. And then if I'm interviewing you and you say, well, hey, it was a great contract. The reason that I continued to look once I took the contract is because it's a 5-month contract, but the government isn't sure if they're going to get funding in the new year. And I want to make sure I ain't caught with my pants down, right? That's cool. I'm cool with that. I have a video out there too on going from contractor and self-employed to full-time. I don't know if you've been on contracts. That's what I would do. And there's nothing wrong with having that contract and then bugging out on them. I'm sure there's a flip-out clause in there that says, we can end this, you can end this, you got to give me X weeks notice or whatever. I would do it. Okay, wait. Real quick. Goal setting masterclass. It's going to be awesome. This agenda shows the details of what's happening. If you love it, or if you miss some of it and you want the whole thing, it will be freely recorded as part of my Leadership Monthly Live mentoring program on the annual subscription. It's the only way you will be able to get it immediately. It's going to be about a $200 course that we're going to be selling on its own. If you are not in the Leadership Monthly annual subscription by September 11th at 4 p.m. Central Time, that offer is going to expire. But the most important thing right now is this is free next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so the other thing about that is there's no Careers in Coffee on Tuesday and no live office hours on Thursday, although I will be there. Oh, this is free, $7 shipping and handling anywhere in the world. This is free, $7 shipping and handling anywhere in the world. Speaking of the Leadership Monthly Live program and why September 11th at 4 p.m. Central Time matters at all is because that session, there's a live session that day for the leaders on habit building. So I'm taking one of the most important ingredients of reaching your goals and I'm breaking it down a little further inside my leadership program. We meet once a month, every 4 weeks. You can meet with me live or you can get those recordings. It's really, really great. Check the page out if you're not familiar with that program. We got the meet and greet on September 13th in Chicago and the boot camp. We got a live session on September 18th. But if you want to get in now, we'll give you the $100 off. Just email support@malwalk.com. You will love the boot camp. And your boot camp for life, you keep coming back to all the sessions. I have like 25, 30 sessions a year that we get together privately. So there's a lot of private boot camp time. And then the resume writing masterclass, $9. All right, I got more time in me. Karen S. Yes, warm wishes. Karen S., I want you to know that I got your email this morning. I have not watched the video yet because I've been moving a mile a minute right up to the time, but I cannot wait to watch it, and congratulations. Love it. Dominic, how are you from Texas? Rahobs? Hello, Andy from half a globe away. India, nice. Lorena, officially jealous on those living close to the meetup. Well, you know what? If any of you can fly in to O'Hare, you could literally fly in, hop in a cab or a Lyft or an Uber or whatever, be there within like 5 minutes, and then you just hop back, hop a flight, and go home. No luggage necessary. Just bring your cards or whatever. Evelyn, we will get a New York meetup, and we will dial up you and Manisha and Dan Morris and all my New Yorkers, and you guys could help me pick a place. You guys could fight over the location. Or they got to be somewhere in Manhattan, though. Thank you for that comment on Interview Intervention. Buy, sell. Hi, Andy. Could you please tell me when we should provide references during the job process? Okay, great. How should we request references and from whom? So here's what I like to do. I don't like to give references up front right away. There's no need to do that. Everybody these days, employers, they know they can ask whenever they want. Normally, they don't ask until the end of the process when they want to make you an offer. That's normally not always. A lot of times on the application, they will say, would you put your references down? So the reason I mention this is because if you are job searching, you want to make sure you've got 3 people you can count on. Actually, I really would prefer it to be 5, but 3 people that you can count on, because you never know if they do go and actually check the references, you want to make sure that they can get to people right away. The other thing is, the reason you want to have 5 or so is because you want to make sure that you have the appropriate types of references. So a lot of companies don't say, hey, give me 3 bosses. Lots of times, what happens if you've been working 10 years for the same boss? What happens if you've been working 10 years for the same company, right? And you've never worked anywhere else. You don't want to have anybody inside the company be your reference. So you might have to have former employees and things of that nature. So I get this gets complicated. Employers understand that. So a lot of times the employers will then say, okay, buy, sell, can you give us 3 references? We'd like, and maybe you're a managerial resource. Can we get a boss? Can we get a peer or a customer and can we get maybe somebody who worked on your staff, something like that. But either which way, I would have them ready to go. I would have them alerted. I would tell them, hey, I'm in the interviewing process, I'm interviewing. Don't be surprised if I reach out to you. Would you be willing to serve as a reference for me? You want to get all that stuff cleared. You don't want to be chasing them when the employer says, hey, can you give me your references? What you need to do then is just say, no problem. Get on the phone, call them all, and say, okay, it's going down. I'm working, company XYZ is giving me an offer. I'm giving them your name. So that's what you want to do. Okay, good. I'm glad that I got that right on the bootcamp thing. All right. Bren Rod. I was let go Monday from a job I believe they knew I was looking for. So the reason they let me go was pretty much it's us, not you. Use as a reference. What would I say on my interview for being let go? Well, if I got this correctly, they didn't like the fact that you were looking. Okay? So I'll make some leaps here, but I'm guessing I'm in the right ballpark. You didn't like it there for some reason, whatever that reason was. So if it was me and I got let go because they didn't like that I was looking, I would say to the potential employer in the interview, well, I started to look elsewhere because, right? I was looking for a greater role. The corporate culture didn't align to what I like. You could use, I don't care what you use, but make it sound, you were gone. I was leaving. They just found out that I was looking, so they didn't like that, so they wanted to let me go. They figured that, they were better off saving the money or whatever for whatever reason. So I would kind of package it that way and then fill in your respective reasons and rationale. But I would put the accent on the fact that I was already looking. And so they discovered that I was looking and it was a turn off for them. And so they let me go. That's it. I wouldn't bat an eye. And my guess is you still have friends in that company and you could use somebody as a reference. Naresh, is it better to tell the company you do not have a job presently? No, it doesn't. I don't think it's, some people would say, well, it's better for you to look if you have a job. Heck yes, right? You're getting paid, but it's also harder to look too because it's like job search is like a full-time job. So I don't think it matters one way or another, except when the company is just it's a personal situation for you and the company. Hey, if I need somebody desperately and you're not working and I love you and you could start right away, I like that, right? If I love you and you can't, you're going to have to give notice and it's going to take 2 weeks, then you're going to have to start. Now you're 17 days out, at least minimum, right? Give or take 16, 17 days. So that's what, that's how I think. So that is completely company specific. Some people say, well, geez, if you're not looking, you can't be, if you're looking and you're not working, then you must not be a great employee. That's total bunk. We never think that. We want to know why you're not working, but no, not. Ahmad, I skipped a question. I'm not sure. Kara, I got Ahmad at 11:38. I don't like skipping questions. Let me know if I did. Let me see, where are we at? Dominic, hi Andy, I'm flying to Chicago. Yay! For a big interview for a national sales position. Love it! It will be a 3-person panel interview. Do you have any advice specific to this style? Dominic and everybody else. Any question you ever have like this, and this is great, no problem, but check my YouTube channel, type in whatever you need, literally type the word panel, and up will pop a video on how to ace the panel interview. It literally probably says that. So check that out. So I do have advice, yes, and I do have a video. I answered it. Okay, good. Ahmad, I see your question again. I believe I got that. Warren Coyle, hey. I'm a boot camper. Axiom, brevity. Hello, Andy. I've been in an analyst role for 3 years with a company. I want to get into the IT department. Should I negotiate the pay for a help desk position or just take what I can get? Once again, only you can determine what you are willing to do. So I'm an extremist. I'm all in. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll take whatever pay cut I need to and all that good stuff. Not everybody's like that. So I also would say to you, if you think long term, so, all right, here's something. Let's try to package this up a little differently. I don't know where you are in your career. You said 3 years for this company, but I don't know if you've just been working for 3 years. Regardless, 3 years, 13 years, 23 years. When you think long term, you make really good short-term decisions. So in my book, you got all the time in the world. You do. So if it is smart for you to wait till the right position opens up, or the other smart thing might be, can I just get on the path to have the trajectory to go into the area that I want, even though I'm only going to earn the same amount, or I'm not going to really get a big pay bump. So people make awful decisions because they're worried about $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. So I understand you got to put food on the table, but when you think 30 years instead of 3 minutes, you will make smarter decisions. So get into the route and the trajectory that you want. So if something opens up and you are able to get that IT help desk position, and it's a lateral move or whatever, but that really interests you, I jump at the chance to do that. So I don't say, or just take what I can get. Now, your question, so that was a philosophical approach. Now, your question about should I negotiate the pay? You should always negotiate the pay. Internal candidate, external candidate, doesn't make any difference. You're making a change. The company's going to discuss with you what the possibilities in pay are. They're going to say, but they're probably not going to say you got a pay cut. Okay, you're moving over to this structure. Now, you might have had a different bonus structure over here. Over here at the help desk, you might be bonus be paid on how many calls you answer, how many tickets you fix or whatever, right? Like that could be. But I would negotiate all that. And then for that, I would refer you to all my negotiation videos. So hope that helped. Ahmad, yes. Uzoma, hey Andy, I'm going for a second interview tomorrow and being interviewed by the same people as the first time. What's the etiquette for thank you cards? Do I mail them thank you a second time? Here's what I would do. First thing for everybody who probably don't know, if you don't know, I have a video on my YouTube channel about the second interview. It says, how to ace the tips for the second interview, but that also means the third interview, fourth interview, fifth interview, and so on. So that's first. But Uzoma is asking about the thank yous. So if you meet with people and you sent them a thank you card the first time, I would not send them another one. I would send them an email, okay? And I would just email them. I continue to be impressed with you and your organization, super excited, this is awesome, elbow bumps, whatever you want to do, but I would not necessarily send it. If you sent an email the first time, did not drop a thank you card, and you had a second interview and you really hit it off, I drop those thank you cards right away. I drop them right away. Like that day. I'd write the emails and then I'd drop the cards. Hope that helped. Lorraine, you're welcome. And I appreciate every minute of you being here. Yes, Warren Coyle. Tourist panic fly. No, man, those Floridians. Sandra Pace. So I'm in human services. Am I in the right place? I'm not sure what you're asking. This is live office hours with Andy LaCivita on my YouTube channel. Standard time, 11 Central in the U.S. Uzbrito Rodrigo! I know it's you, my boot camper friend. It always amazes me how efficient Kara is. She's amazing. I got news for you guys. This doesn't work without her. We're not having goal-setting masterclasses without Jim Vasilopoulos. I don't do this stuff all by myself. I want you guys to take a step back. And so this is compliments for Kara. Hopefully she's not like in the bathroom or something, but hopefully she's listening with me. Every person who leads anything, you don't have to be CEO or anything, just you're a leader, a visionary. Every visionary needs an implementer. They call it the V and I relationship. So you can have visionaries that come up with ideas all day long. If they don't get implemented, that doesn't work. Some of you probably work for companies. At the top, there's like a V and a V, two visionaries. And all they do is throw out ideas at each other and nothing ever gets done. Or maybe you have two implementers and then your company just lags along. So whenever you're making up your teams, you need the two of them together. That's what she and I are. That's why this works. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So everybody should be giving her a shout out. And if you are in Chicago, you come to the meetup and give her a big hug. And I would bring some presents for her, not me, her, and make that happen. Yes, Rodrigo's awesome. Thank you for that. And Kara thanks you, I'm sure. Ronnie South, I've been out of a job market for 2 years and I'm having trouble getting interviews, recommendations. Ronnie South, so there's a way to troubleshoot the process. If you're not getting interviews, it could be any one of a number of things, but I would look at two areas specifically, the resume and how you're circulating your resume. So it's one thing that you could have a stellar resume. Doesn't mean you're going to get job opportunities or interviews if you're not going about the job search process the right way. Because you asked such a general question, though, I'm going to direct you to the two playlists. There's a resume playlist and there's a job searching playlist. If those are in order, you're going to get interviews. The resume writing class, I got 4 emails today from people in the resume writing class about how many they just signed up 10 days ago, however long ago it was, and we had less than that. Maybe it was a week ago, and they 4 interviews this week. Start circulating that resume on Friday. All of a sudden, all kinds of interviews. So, it could be something simple like that if you just get your resume in order. Check that program out. It's not expensive. It's a great deal. Vulcan, hi Andy. How do recruiters approach international applicants? Is there a particular circumstance that they prefer to offer working visa sponsorship? No, it's most of the time, not always. Large companies that are international, that already are set from an infrastructure standpoint, that have offices in different countries in the world, are better equipped to offer those working visas and sponsorships. Companies that are, like for me, in the US based, that don't have an international presence, have a very difficult time. They can get your sponsorship. They have a difficult time paying for the sponsorship, meaning they have a difficult time reconciling that they want to pay for that at all because they want to try to find somebody at the home base. So my recommendation in this tight market is if you are international and you are trying to move countries, whatever countries you're trying to go between, I always say it's better to try to get a job initially in the country you're in and then express interest that you are mobile. Now, I don't know your circumstances. There may be a reason, but that is my preferred route right now for those that need visa sponsorship because it's expensive and it takes a long time. This whole process can take a while to actually get it, depending on what stage you are in the process, whether it's something you need to start from scratch, whether it's something that just simply needs to be transferred. It's very, very complicated as far as all that goes. Warren is boot camper. I have gone through the program 2 times and keep learning and retaining things. It is so informative. You just keep learning. Thank you for that. P.S. Once you pay, you can go through it as many times as you want. Warren, thank you. And he's an awesome dude. And not only, this is another thing about the boot camp. You pay one time. You get it for life, but that's not even the best part. You get all the structure, you get all the systems, you get all the tools, you get the stuff I keep adding to it. But you could come back to the private live boot camper only sessions. So people come back after they get their jobs and they ask me their career development questions. It's a really great deal because I like the live interaction. So we have a lot of Q&A sessions that are private for the boot campers, and then I just focus on them, which is a small group, and we're usually able to get all their questions answered. So it's really cool. Alina, once you've made a connection with a corporate recruiter and following up on status of position, should you call or email would suffice. Forever grateful for your infectious support. Thank you, my dear. You are awesome, my little boot camper friend. And Alina, I would say that it depends on the relationship with the recruiter. It also depends on the lag time. So if I made a connection with the recruiter and we talked on the phone, and you sent the email, you emailed and you set logistics up for an interview, or they said, hey, we're interested in interviewing you, but I think you're in the interview process. So if you're in the interview process and time is going on and you're not getting in touch, then it is okay to call them and just say, hey, I'm just checking in. There's nothing wrong with that. If they say, hey, I should get in touch with you in a couple days goes by and you haven't heard from them, then a couple days later or a day or two later, after that, you might want to email them and just say, hey, just checking in. It kind of depends on where you are in the interaction itself and the strength of your your chemistry with that person. All right, let's do this. I have got to get rolling. 12:46, folks. This guy is going to be awesome. It starts Tuesday. If you're interested in meeting me and Kara and Mom and Dad and my wife, September 13th in Chicago, you should be getting an email about that maybe on Sunday. We've got the Goal Setting Masterclass next week. We got the Leadership Monthly Live stuff the following week on the 11th. We got the Boot Camp Live session on the 18th. Hope to see you. Careers and Coffee and live office hours are off next week because I'm spending all my time in the Goal Setting Masterclass. So if you want to see me, come. All right, take care, guys.